Yo, what's going on, guys? Koi here. Today we are talking about Krillin and how to actually master this character in Dragon Ball GEKISHIN SQUADRA. Uh, so I get a lot of complaints about Krillin, and it probably has to do with the fact that he's very, very squishy, and you can shut him down quite easy with the biggest of moves. But it's also because people don't know how to play with his technician skill, and you got to work around it. But I played him for the last three betas. I mean, two betas to this release, and I could even say after multiple nerfs, he still is an actual demon in the field. Uh, so with this happening, I'm going to be talking about pretty much his whole kit, how to utilize his kit, and then how to build him whenever you actually start using divine cards. If you guys don't know how to unlock your divine cards, it's literally just playing a couple games. I already dropped my new player guide so you guys can see how you can unlock all the features I'll be talking about here. And let's get into it. So let's go ahead and talk about his passive here. Uh, a crafty hero who blinds his foes with solar flare, catches them off guard with energy mines, and don't let your targets escape. Take them down and seize victory with your friends. Now, I'm going to say something about this chart right here. This chart is an absolute lie. He's not that squishy. He does take like a lot of damage to energy resistance. He has a little bit of mobility, and his burst damage should be at the very end here because honestly, when it says support and attack range, that's an absolute lie. The burst damage is where it's at. The burst damage that this dude could pull off is absolutely insane. And I'll be pulling up clips and stuff like that as I talk about the certain moves, how they work, and all that. So let's go into the details. So technician is his marked ability. So whenever he actually uses his marked ability, this gives him the ability to use certain moves in different ways and lock down enemies even quicker than before. The marked ability that he can use is pretty much used by all of his skills. So you'll see that his ultimate needs the mark to be active, and a lot of his attacks need the mark to be active. And you could activate this mark with any of these attacks. Even his M1s can activate the mark, which is pretty crazy. It shortens the skill cooldowns, making a lot of like Krillin's moves just absolutely crazy fast cooldown. And you could use them a lot, just consistently, overbearing even in most matches. And especially if you play like a tactician, you should not be able to die very easily. His rush attack is pretty standard. He does use like the third consecutive, which is a powered up attack, and this one increases damage powered up, marks the enemy with the marked ability, and you'll see that with you being able to poke the enemy with energy blast attacks. It's pretty nice because you don't have to like go toe to toe with someone like Goku, Vegeta, Cooler. Like you kind of just want to play distance and don't let them get close to you. But if they do get close to you, you'll be able to get away pretty easily, and we'll talk about that. You want to be in control of all of the fight. You do not want to lose control of the fight at all. You want to make sure that you're surrounded by all allies if you can be, or if you have to be by yourself, play with Energy Mine. Energy Mine is a stackable 2 to 3 energy blasts that you can put down, and these blasts will pretty much be able to go invisible, and your enemy will not be able to see them. And it's actually insane because you could stack these, and whenever one explodes, the rest will explode. Now, the only time that we've had problems with this move ever is if you start the fight and you see the fact that someone like Goku already starts off with the Spirit Bomb. That will destroy all energy mines, like any Spirit Bomb, laser, Kamehameha. Any energy based move will deactivate all the energy mines within the area. So it's mostly like something you want to spam whenever you're in the middle of a fight, or something that you use as a trap in order to shut down your opponent. Solar Flare is very, very nice. So this one actually decreases your enemy's ability to kill you, pretty much. So you could use this to shut down a Goku that's about to start up his whole combo, or shut down a Vegeta that's going on, like, about to use move stacking and stuff like that. Anybody that's about to do a lot of damage to you, you could use this all attack down to blind them and shut them down, and then just start spamming energy mines and scatter energy wave and any move that you have. The reason why is because this is like your bread and butter. blinding your enemy, decreasing their attack, even if they're wiggling around trying not to be destroyed, so to speak, and they're trying to like kill you in the process, they won't be able to find you, and you could really gain some distance while this is active, which is really really nice. Scatter energy wave. This is the last move that I kind of work on Krillin. I'm going to be totally honest, but this is the perfect closer. Now, the reason why is because scatter energy wave is so insane whenever it comes down to shutting down opponents who are trying to run away. This is an energy blast that you can shoot into a direction and use it like a controlled like magic missile that will go and shut down anybody who's trying to run away as long as it lands, or even if it doesn't land, it has a nice AoE, especially at level 3. So it's actually insane to use whenever you actually think about this. You know what I mean? The best utilization I've seen is pretty much whenever to start a fight or to close a fight. That's pretty much it. Because it does a good amount of damage. It doesn't do the most, but it does a good amount of damage. Now, this one right here, Destructo Disc, is probably the most important move in your entire arsenal, and you should be spamming this if you have not spammed it yet. Now, the crazy part about Destructo Disc, and this is what is Krillin's bread and butter. So if an enemy is marked, you will, it could be the entire team. All 4 enemies could be marked. And this is what's insane. If all enemies are marked, you could throw the Destructo Disc, and it will follow every single one of those enemies and chain react attack them at the same time with the super attack. It is the most devastating super attack I've ever seen, utilized in the most tactitious way possible. I mean, yes, like Goku's Spirit Bomb is absolutely brain dead, but if you mark all the enemies and they try to run away, they can't run away from this if they're marked, and it's just going to instantly do a crap ton of damage. Now, let's talk about Krillin's build, and what do we want to do with it? Like, how do we want to set this up? I think the most appropriate way to talk about this is going to be probably doing as much burst damage as possible. And this is where, like, I talk about some cards. Yeah, I know, talking about cards. Now, Lightning Swift is probably my least favorite card to ever put on someone like Krillin, because there's never a chance to time when your enemy is going to fall into certain attacks. And the only time I would actually use this is if like an enemy were like really, really speedy. But honestly, I prefer using Super Snowball. Like this will pretty much increase your attack exponentially just based off of if you're getting kills and as long as you do not die. So getting assists, KOs, 4 stacks of just straight up attack up is insane. I wouldn't recommend any of the defensive passives. I would not recommend like strategic escape. I would say like if you're a newer player and you really, really, really don't know how to play Krillin that well, strategic escape could be your out. But honestly, there's way too many characters that could shut you down while you're trying to use this. But in my opinion, I prefer using Snowball. If you're a pro at using those energy orbs, you get 3 of the energy orbs down, you have a full Snowball attack, and it's just insane. Does too much damage almost. Now, with the second card that you want to pick, you could go for Giant Slayer here. Boost damage dealt to target proportional to their max health until the end of the battle. So when an attack hits the enemy with 80% or more HP, this just does a lot of damage, just straight up, just pretty much chunks them. Now, my problem with this is that it does work, but I prefer using the opposite, which is Prepare to Die. Now, the reason why is because this one is how you kind of close. And if you're already doing a lot of damage with energy orbs and Destructo Disc, you're not going to have any problem sealing the deal with the last 50% of their HP and just really do a crap ton of damage and finish the job quick. It's absolutely insane. I never really prefer any like defensive skills like for Krillin. There's never really a time to get hit. Like the whole objective is you don't want to get hit, which is really, really good. Art of Decoy and Epic Hunter, I would not recommend either of these because, like, these are very, like, if you want to be that guy and you want to be really, really cool to your whole team and you want to play supportive and you want to run around the map, like, Epic Hunter would be pretty cool because you deal, like, a lot more damage to bosses, and trust me, they really buffed bosses. But leave that to somebody else, because in my opinion, there's way better characters that can shut down bosses faster than Krillin. Krillin's more of a seal the deal kind of guy, not really, supposed to be supportive. You're supposed to be stopping the enemy from even getting to the boss. You're supposed to be, catching the enemy off guard. You don't want to meet the enemy on the battlefield where it's like, let's all spam ults and see who comes out on top. That's not how you play Krillin. You want to catch the guy who's going off to the side trying to heal, and you want to shut him down. Now, of course, so we're already going down the damage train here with Super Snowball to Prepare to Die. Now, what is the card that kind of seals the deal for me here? And this is the kicker. The third card is really, really up to you. There's a lot of really good third cards in this game. This is pretty much like your bread and butter. If you're already towards the end, this is where it's at. So Krillin's Wicked Warrior is not going to be as strong as, say, someone like Vegeta, Goku, Android 18. So I would not try to fight people head on. This is specifically a Vegeta specific trait. Pursuer deals additional damage to an enemy. This is what I prefer, because when you head towards the enemy, you can pretty much do a lot more damage, and you can trigger this at any time. Land an attack on an enemy with 2 skills within 2 seconds. This is easy to land with Krillin, because all you have to do is just land energy orbs, and then maybe a scatter shot, or even at that, you could do energy orbs, and then the second they walk into it, use Destructo Disc, Energy Wave, anything, any move, and this will literally always trigger. I wouldn't really touch anything defensive. Like I said, you don't want to get touched as Krillin. That's just how it is. If you get touched, or if someone uses a Spirit Bomb or something, you're kind of cooked at that point. I wouldn't say that Backstab would even work either, because it's just not going to work with Krillin. Limit Breaking Jump, let your Vanish Step one more time. Now, if you're going to be the kind of person who prefers to get out of the way, and you want to be as annoying as possible, and you just want to work off of Krillin's base damage, you could just run away using the Limit Break Jump and the Vanish Step. It's a nice way to get out of the way. Honestly, if you're not really keen or good at fighting in the game yet, I do prefer using some type of defensive. Bosses, I would prioritize. It's going to be Jocko. I would prioritize Jocko because they actually buff the amount of skill damage up to 20%. So that's pretty crazy. So yeah, that's honestly all I want to really talk about here. Krillin is an absolute demon, and if you guys enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell down below. I'll see you guys later. Take it easy and peace.